All right, guys, so tomorrow, or September the 1st, I guess it just kind of depends on whenever you're watching this video, Edifier is going to be releasing a brand new pair of true wireless earbuds. The pair that they're gonna release are the W240TN. Now this pair comes in at 80 bucks, and I wanna say this at the top of the video. If you are a bass head, but you still really like to enjoy everything else, you don't like the bass to just roll over everything, this may be the best pair that you can buy under 100 bucks. Now, if you're not familiar with Edifier, I think they're more known for their bookshelf speakers. In fact, in my house, and actually at my desktop, I use the Hecate G5000, which is their gaming series, and it's one of the best desktop speakers I've ever heard. In fact, I even went out and bought a pair of bookshelf speakers for my daughter's turntable, and there's just something about the way their speakers are tuned that I'm a huge fan of. But when it comes to true wireless earbuds, a lot of theirs have kind of been hit or miss. They've had some that I think have been very good. They've had some that just didn't hit the mark. So we're gonna check out the new W240TNs and see how these stack up. Now, if you're interested in checking these out, they're available in two different colors. I actually have both colors here. They are available in black and also in white. And the design of these overall actually remind me a lot of their first noise canceling pair of true wireless earbuds, which I believe were the NBs. And that's more so because the earbuds themselves have a unique design where your touch controls are located, and they kind of carried that over onto this pair. Now the case is flat on the front, the back, and the bottom. It is rounded on the top where the lid is located. Now on the back you can see the USB-C input and the pairing button. And then around on the front they're using a light bar. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. But when you move over to looking at the earbuds, like I said, it does have that flat outside, but the earbud part itself is actually glossy. Now this part is a fingerprint magnet, but luckily where your touch controls are located, that has a matte finish so that it's not picking up every single fingerprint that you put on the earbuds. Now, if you're looking at using this pair outdoors, this pair actually comes with an IP55 rating. So that means it's both dust and water resistant. So if you're looking to use these at the beach or maybe even a construction site where dust and things are kind of flying around, this is one of those pairs you don't have to worry about. But do keep in mind, this is still one of those pairs that you can't submerge into water. Now, as far as some of the technology that's in this pair, they are using Bluetooth 5.3. They're also using dual dynamic composite drivers. They're using a 10mm driver mixed with a 6mm driver. And I think this is what is allowing these to have that really solid bass, but also still allow these to focus on the mids and the treble. Now this pair also works with Edifier's app, and the app allows you to keep these updated. It also allows you to have some different EQ options, which it's really only two, but then it also allows you to customize the EQ settings the way that you want. There is a gaming mode, so if you're looking to use this pair for movies, videos, or games, you would switch it over into this mode so that it would cut down on any kind of lag. But this is also going to cut down your battery life, and it also keeps you from being able to get a long way from your device. I mean, it's really made for you to just hold your device and use your earbuds that way. Now, as far as anything else that the app does, it does allow you to switch around some of your controls, which is definitely a plus because out of the box, they don't really give you control over everything. So you will have to go into the app and switch some things around. Now moving over to talking about the noise canceling and the ambient mode on here, the noise canceling blocks out a fair amount of engine noises and AC units, anything that kind of has like a lower tone. It does not block out people talking very well, so if you're planning on using these in an environment where you're just trying to block out a lot of people talking, it's not going to do as good a job as this as it does, like I said, if you're traveling and you're trying to block out the engine noise of a plane, or if you're in a car and you're trying to block out that engine noise. It does an excellent job here. It just, again, does not block out people talking. And the ambient mode that this pair has actually allows you within the app to adjust how much of your surroundings you want to bring in. So if you're going to be running and you just want to be able to hear some of the cars and traffic and things around you, you can do that. Or you can just turn it up all the way if you really need to hear somebody talking. like if you're in a work environment and you need to hear the phones and stuff like that. So it's nice that you can just adjust this. But I will say, even with the ambient mode put at halfway, it does introduce a fair amount of digital noise. The microphones are fairly sensitive, so I really don't suggest using these over halfway. It does a very good job, and you can easily carry on a conversation without actually taking the earbuds out. Now, as far as what all they've included inside the box, you do get 4 sets of silicone ear tips. The charging cable they've included is a USB-C cable, and you are going to have to use this cable because this pair does not have Qi wireless charging. So if you're somebody like me that really kind of relies on being able to just throw your earbuds on a wireless charger, do keep in mind you're not going to be able to do that with this pair. But speaking of the charging, the battery life I was very impressed with, especially for a pair that has active noise canceling. But if you use these with the noise canceling off, you can actually get about 8 hours on the earbuds and around 25 hours using the case. But with the noise canceling on, you're still going to get about 7 hours on the earbuds and around 21 hours total using the case. And this is one of those pairs that if you do happen to pick them up and they aren't charged, it does have a fast charge feature where a 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. And I've said this in pretty much every video on a pair of earbuds that has this. I find this convenient because I'm one of those that I don't always make sure that my earbuds are charged. Now, for you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, I feel like these do a very good job of picking up my voice very cleanly. And even in noisy environments, I think they do a pretty good job of blocking out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the W240TNs. And first off, I also want to say that I think that they're using some kind of mic monitoring system so that I can hear my voice while I'm talking. And this just keeps me from yelling while I'm on a phone call. And I do like this feature. But this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. I feel like the sound on these are absolutely incredible for a pair that's under $100. Now, I do want to say that this is more for bass heads. Now, out of the box, they do have it on like a normal EQ setting. They only have the option to switch it to dynamic, and then you can go in and customize it yourself. But once you switch it over to dynamic, it really does boost the bass, it boosts the treble, and it kind of pushes the mid slightly forward, and it then turns these into a very in-your-face, really punchy when it comes to the low end. In fact, this is some of the most fun that I've had testing a pair of earbuds out of all the ones that I've tested lately. And that's because I like a bass to just come in and hit you in the face, but I still like the treble to bring out a lot of details. I don't like to have my vocalist lost in the mix, so I think they pushed the mids just forward enough that didn't happen. And I listen to these with all different types of genres. Now, I mainly listen to like metal and hardcore and things that are a lot more heavy and chaotic. And a lot of earbuds just usually tend to fall flat here. And this pair did not do that. You're still able to hear the double bass of the drums. You can hear just heavy riffs and vocalists. Just everything comes through very clear. Now, I will say one area that I think these are slightly affected because this is a very dynamic sounding earbud is the sound stage and the sound imaging. Now, it still made me feel like I was in a large room, but I could tell that the overpowering bass and that bright treble and that really dynamic sound is trying to kind of close these in a little bit, so it sounds more so like you have two very large speakers in front of you. But being able to tell where sounds are coming from, this pair still did a really good job with. It just doesn't sound as spaced out and as open as some of the other earbuds that I've tested. So my overall opinion on these is, yes, I do wish that they had Qi wireless charging because I've become kind of spoiled with other pairs in this price range. It's hard to overlook the fact that you're getting noise canceling that's this effective, mixed with audio quality that, you know, far exceeds the price range. In fact, I would use these as a daily driver over a lot of pairs that are 2 to 3 times as much. Because it fits a sound signature that I like. I love the dynamic sound that these have. I love having that subwoofer type bass, but just a very bright, clean treble. and it checks off all the boxes for me when it comes to audio quality. And like I've said in other videos, that is what I would pay for over any features. So that makes the Edifier W240TNs a very easy pair to recommend. But guys, that wraps up my video on these. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.